Today we're going to do one of my favorite old Florida Pioneer dishes. We're going to do a new twist on it. People around here and the old timers, they just call it swamp cabbage. Originally it was made from a heart of a cabbage palm tree. Those are getting kind of hard to find, and if you can find them on private property where you can harvest them, they're a lot of work to get at. So we have some cabbage ready in the garden right now, some good Napa or Chinese type cabbage. So we're going to go ahead, since we did the video today of how to start a cooking fire. We've got our cooking fire going, and we already got our Dutch oven. She's already down there getting heating up. And what we're going to start with is just making a stock. Well, so here we're back here cooking over the open fire again, and you know, it's not one of those things, the easiest thing in the world to do when you've got a little time to spend. I've enjoyed it my whole life since I was a kid. Alright, first step, we just got some saved chicken carcasses here. We're just going to go ahead and just dump that right on in. It's still partially frozen, doesn't matter. And then you see the pot's already going real good there. This case, you know, we're not really on heat control, we're just boiling water. And here we got 6 cups of chicken stock we're going to put on top of that. And we're just going to let that go for a little while. And we're going to start our stock there. I've actually had the original Pioneer version of the dish that we're making today, swamp cabbage. It's not the greatest thing I ever ate. You know, it's a heart of palm. It's very different than a regular cabbage. It's tough, it's stringy, but you know, back in them days, that's basically all they had to eat as far as greenery goes. If they're, you know, out catching a cow or living out in the wilderness. All right, starting to come up to a boil there. We just throw a little bit of basil in. Just pick some scallions right out of the garden. We go ahead and throw them into the broth too. They come up a little bit, and we'll poke them around a little bit, and then cover it up with a lid, let them simmer for a while. I kind of like go back and look at you know, the hard life that those guys must have had, and I've seen the work it takes to actually get that heart out of the cabbage palm. It takes hours, basically. Hey, instead of cutting down a palm tree and digging the heart out of it like the old guys did, we're just going to walk out here to the garden, grab one of these beautiful Chinese cabbage, and cut that rascal off, and that'll be our cabbage right there. Absolutely gorgeous. And we won't have to cook this thing like the old cabbage palm. You had to cook that thing for like a freaking day or something to get it to where you could eat it. This, a few minutes, she'll be fine. Probably go about half hour on it. Very tender, very sweet. So this will be our swamp cabbage right here. Things, but still, I'm trying to remember back to and pay homage really to the folks that lived on this land for, you know, 150 years here in Florida, and you know, some of the settlers even longer than that, and just kind of helps me to bring myself back to the people that were here before me. All right, it's been a couple of hours. We've had our broth going in there for a while, and we just removed the chicken carcasses. We took them inside. We'll get the meat off of those. The liquid has reduced down to maybe 3 cups, something like that. We got we did put our some herbs in there, some thyme, a little bit of parsley, and putting garlic, anything like that. Thyme, parsley, a little bit of sage. I'm going to put in another 4 cups of hot water just to bring that level back up. And we're going to go ahead and put in our smoked pork. So we're just going to dump that in there. It's already fully cooked. But what we want is, you know, that good fat from that pork. So something that kind of brings me back to, I guess, a primal thing with, you know, humans, fire, meat, and it does give you a lot of satisfaction, though you can go do it. Hey folks, here's our cabbage. You notice we've cut this very coarsely in keeping with the original recipe for the swamp cabbage. We got a couple of onions in here. We've cut them very coarsely. We've cut we want this to have body, you know, in keeping with the original recipe. We also got just like a 2 teaspoons of salt and a teaspoon of pepper, and we're gonna get this fire going and get this thing rolling, because just a lot of nice cool cabbage. It's going to cool that pot down quite a bit, and so we're going to get the fire rolling, get that thing up to a roller, and then we'll put it in. I do have quite a few preppers I know that subscribe to my channel, and I think I can, you know, help out with with that endeavor. You know, you can have 1,000 pounds of rice and beans saved up, but if you can't go out and cook it up, they're pretty hard to take right out of the bag. Okay, we got that thing going to a good rolling boil, and you know, it's going to die down quite a bit when we put this in. We're going to go ahead and start adding our cabbage back in there, or not back in there, but in there. And you know, this looks like a lot, but it will cook down considerably. We may not be able to get it all in there first time, just kind of like cooking the greens or mustard greens, whatever. It's all going to wilt down, so we may only get a part of it in there. Looks like we might make it. I don't know. Got a little more left, so we'll see if we can get it all in there. We'll put the lid back on, and that'll steam down and reduce by a substantial amount. So we'll go ahead and just put our seasoning on top. Alright, and go ahead and get our lid back on there. We can hold our heat. Alright, keep the fire going. I'll be eating in a little while. Alright folks, it's getting really ready right now. We're just took the lid off this guy and just gonna let it reduce down a little bit. Leave some of the liquid down. But it is really smelling great. Simmering along there very nicely. So, getting time to eat. Going back to the old ways and the old days, I keep saying it. In these videos, learning how people did it. Learn how people did it back 150 years ago, when they didn't have anything but wood, fire, and an old iron pot. Okay folks, everything's ready. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to plate this up Backwoods Gourmet style. You know, that's what we love to do. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and take some of our swamp cabbage. We got our bowl here. Just going to go ahead and get a nice healthy portion of that. You really need the broth. Need some nice good chunk of the pork on top there. Get a nice big chunk of pork on top. I'm going to go ahead and put that on our plate. And what we got for garnish with that is, well, we have some fresh snow pea tendrils right out of the garden. Going to go ahead and garnish that with those. They have a really great nutty pea flavor. And we have a little green onion sprig there. We'll go ahead and we'll just put that down on there. So It's a beautiful bowl. Now we have our right out of the oven, steaming hot sweet cornbread, which would have been something the pioneers would have, had back in the day when they were making this dish. So we got a beautiful slice of the sweet cornbread right there, and we're just going to go ahead and put that on the side of the plate. Get a nice slice of sweet cream butter. Oop. Drop a little bit there, and that's going to be our plate. And the final touches, got a little bit of celery seed here, which is a great addition last second for the cabbage. A little sprinkle of that, and you can see that's another meal fit for a king, cooked on open fire. So we'll see you guys back for the next episode of the Backwoods Gourmet. I taken my kids out on a fishing trip, and we brought along utensils and pans and built a fire on the bank and cooked the fish that we caught. And both of them will tell you, even to the day, that that's probably the best fish and fried potatoes they ever had. And I don't think it was because it tasted any better, but because of the experience of doing it imprinted that in their mind that it must have been better because they had to work a little harder to do it.